right. So yeah, I think we're all good. We got the streams going, but so talking about eating crab in China, they give you these little crabs, these tiny little claws, and so you're sitting there trying. They don't give you a lot of tools.
Oh.
So everybody's just like using their teeth and figuring out how to suck everything out.
Like a crawfish.
Yeah, but you got these little tiny little crab legs. And I was teasing them. I was like, you realize why people like to eat crab and are so skinny in China. You burn more calories trying to get the meat out of that thing. But then at one point you just like grab the guy and you peel the skin back, like the lid back, and then you eat everything inside the crab too. And they're like, no, don't eat the lungs, don't eat the gills.
Oh, gosh.
But then there's like this like creamy golden colored stuff that's obviously the fat the crab has, and you're just like
I'm afraid I could eat it knowing that I see the lungs.
Yeah, it was really cool. You'd see the lungs and the gills and everything. And then Jackie, I'm gonna start our teleprompter here.
Yes.
Jackie, who's our main guy in China, he decided to try me this time. He's never done it before. Normally he's just like really like, oh, we're not gonna push him too hard on what he eats. But this time Jackie decided to take me out for silkworm larvae. So
what?
So they look like little cicadas or cockroaches.
Oh, heck no.
On a stick.
Heck no.
And you just like peel them off.
Was it good?
It's okay. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like, it's not like I'm like, I gotta go get me more.
No,
all right.
Thanks.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I was just talking to Maria. I just got back from China, and we were talking about our dining experience, and I apologize. We need to silence this. I'm gonna turn this off right now.
Sorry, foul.
I will be power off. Okay, we'll leave it there for now. All right, so just a message to all my friends and colleagues out there. Please don't call for the next hour. We're doing the live stream. All right, well, let's go ahead and get this very cool show started. Check in everybody online, and Maria's checking the lines, and we're excited to have you all here. Let us know if we've got any audio or video issues other than people trying to call in. I hit Do Not Disturb on my phone, but apparently that doesn't tell every device not to do that. Well, let's get this show started. All right, so yes, everyone out there, I'm gonna do the fanfare. The PoE to USB Type-C converter is here, and it's ready to go, mostly. But we'll come back to that, and we'll talk about what I mean by mostly. On today's show, we'll cover the finer points on how to use the PoE to USB-C converter with your favorite products, including the Microsoft Surface Go, the iPad Pro Gen 3, and the Samsung Tab series. Fortunately for y'all, most of the demonstrating will be done by Maria. Most importantly, though, we'll answer any questions you have about the product, what it works with, what things you need to know, how to deploy it, any kind of questions you have. So, without further ado, get your questions in the chat lines, and we will go ahead and get the show started. All right, if you're joining us for the first time, I'm Tyler Andrews, the head nerd here at PoE Texas, and I'm joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Miss Maria Medell.
Yes, hello everyone. We're back. And I'm very, very excited for the show today to introduce to you guys the new PoE to USB-C converter that we actually just launched last week, so it's that new. And in case you did miss them, I made 3 different demo videos on our YouTube channel and also on Instagram TV. You can go check out. The product is called the GAT-USBC-PD, and I showed how it can be used with the Microsoft Surface Go, a Samsung Tab Active, and also an iPad Pro. And I'll add all the video links to the comment in today's live stream, that way you can go back and check them out later. It was actually really, really fun to make all of these, and I'm really excited to see what you guys think and make the series. So even though we have the adapter. It is super easy to use. So the videos just kind of show you a little bit, how easy it is to use and how adaptable it is.
Fantastic, and you get to see Maria's beautiful hand modeling.
Oh yes,
so,
all my different manicures.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it before, you might think about it. So, all right, so excellent. Well, we'll cover Maria's demo videos here in just a second. However, to get us started and to give you all time to get questions in, and they're starting to trickle in here, I want to make sure we define a few terms we're going to be throwing around to make sure we don't sound like an IEEE Scrabble game. And Maria, feel free to interrupt me at any time with questions that have come up through the chat lines.
Will do.
So I'm going to jump over here, and then I'm going to do some definitions. So first of all, let's talk about PoE+. And we also say IEEE 802.3 AT. And I want to give you guys the definition in terms of the products you may know or you like to use. And for example, an iPad Air or Samsung Tab A will draw between 10 and 12 watts of power. And you can use regular PoE, or Power over Ethernet, also known as IEEE 802.3 AF power, to run an iPad Air or Samsung Tab. However, when you get to USB Type-C devices that are a little larger, 10 inches and above, as you can see right here, like the iPad Pro Gen 3, it draws closer to 20 watts of power at full brightness. And PoE Plus is a type of PoE that outputs 25 watts of power and is really necessary for any kind of devices bigger than your iPad Air. About that 10-inch line is where it cuts off. The 10.2-inch iPad Pro, the 10.2-inch iPad that still has a lightning connector will work on PoE. But once you go bigger than that, you really start to move over. And also anything larger than a Nest can.
Yep.
But a quick note here, in some of our testing, we found that even some of the Pixel phones running high consumption apps will draw more than 15 watts. And that means they will actually draw more than PoE, and they won't charge on just PoE. So, long story short, I recommend at least having PoE Plus if you're planning to start using USB Type-C devices. Just a good plan to do it. And if you need, we have the equipment to help you upgrade either a switch with an existing switch with an injector, or even upgrade to a PoE Plus switch. Now, if you're really getting into USB Type-C devices, you might also start looking at the new IEEE 802.3 BT, Bravo Tango PoE, that can do up to 70 watts. But that's beyond the scope of the show today. And unless you really want to get into that, hit the chat lines, let us know in the comments. Now, I'll do a quick note here. If you're trying to power a larger tablet computer, you're not ready to go all the way to 802.3 BT power, many of those devices will run on 40 watts, some of the tablet computers. And you'll want to check out our PoE to USB-C device in that case. I've got it right down here. You could just search for it on our store or on Amazon, and that'll work. Now, I also wanted to define the term PD. And if you've been around the PoE world for a while, you've likely heard the term PoE, which to us PoE files means powered device. Like this is called a powered device. And it's anything that gets PoE power. However, in the USB-C world, PD stands for power delivery. And you can see we actually filmed an actual PD negotiation on the film today. Power delivery is how USB-C power supplies communicate with the power device that they want to talk to. And what they'll do is they'll say something like, this guy will reach out to its counterpart, I'll do it right there, and say, how much power do you want? And the tablet will say something along the lines of, oh, I don't know, I'm a little tired, so send me 15 volts. The USB-C power supply then increases the output voltage out of here from 5 volts, which is your normal USB power, to 15 volts. And we call those different volt levels profiles. So when you hear Maria talk about a profile, it's the power profile that's the combination of the volts and the current draw that your particular device wants to use. Now, you'll normally find this on your USB Type-C device or on the power supply that came with your device. It will show you the volts and amps it prefers. Now, power delivery is a really cool tool because it means you can send a lot more power down your USB-C cable, which is very cool. For us, though, it's also a headache because it can get complicated, and we'll give an example why. In our case, we tried to make this guy as universally compatible as possible, regardless of the fact that every device wants its own thing. But you're not here to listen to me go on about our technical complexities and why some things are more complicated. You want to see this guy in action. So let's watch Maria use this on a Surface Go. So let me flip that over. Oh, it looks like we're not getting the audio. I'm going to restart that here.
Port I'll be using.
Let me.
The adapter you see.
I'm going to restart
the
that
PSC
video
I'm using
for you.
today is the AT4 48 volt 60 watt injector kit. The first thing I did was to make sure I bring in data on the LAN port to the corresponding PoE port I'll be using. The adapter you see here is our GAT-USBC-PD inline adapter, which converts 802.3 AT PoE into USB Type-C power profiles of 5, 9, 12, 15, and 20 volts with wired gigabit data all on the USB Type-C female connection. Because this adapter is PoE powered, as soon as you connect it to a compatible power source, you'll see the LED lights indicate power immediately. The GAT-USBC-PD will also include this cable you see on screen, which is a straight-angled USB Type-C to right-angled USB Type-C for ease of connection to your device. Once you connect the GAT-USBC-PD to the Microsoft Surface Go, you can see that it only takes a few seconds for the device to recognize the connection and have Ethernet appear as the data source. The tablet is also recognizing the GAT-USBC-PD as its power source to remain charging. You will notice that the Wi-Fi on this tablet has been turned off because it's receiving Ethernet from the GAT-USBC-PD while maintaining a charge.
All right, great. So I'm just going to jump back over here. Maria, I wanted to ask you, are there any other tips that you would give, having done the video series, are there any details you'd go back and share with everyone about how it works with the Surface Go?
Not with the Microsoft. So all I did was keep the status page open on the network homepage or the network settings and watch the Ethernet pop up. The only thing I did notice that was different between the Samsung, the Microsoft, and the iPad is that the Microsoft took the longest to negotiate the Ethernet. So it doesn't pop up immediately. You do have to wait maybe 3 seconds, but after that it stayed on. So it does take a little bit longer for it to recognize the Ethernet connection.
Okay. And I would note there for everybody out there that with this device, because the profiles like to get set and everybody has an individual profile, I don't recommend plugging this in like directly from your Surface Go to an iPad to a Samsung. It struggles to negotiate the wildly different power profiles.
For each device it does.
Simply just unplug this from the PoE, plug it into your new device, plug it back in, and it'll negotiate the new profile. And for all of you out there considering this for the Surface Go, yes, we are seeking a Design for Surface or DFS certification, and we hope to have that in the next couple months. We've got all the details worked out, and we're really narrowing in. So let's now see Maria's great demo for the iPad Pro.
feel so meta today. I'm seeing myself.
Yeah.
To demonstrate the GAT-USBC-PD on the iPad Pro,
And
my power sourcing equipment is our GPOES AT-M64. This is a 4-port gigabit layer 2 managed PoE switch with 802.3 BT uplink power. The GAT-USBC-PD has a female RJ45 port for input 802.3 AT PoE, as well as a female USB Type-C port for output power of 5, 9, 12, 15, and 20 volts, as well as output gigabit data. In case you didn't catch the wording on the label, PoE Texas does currently have a patent pending for the GAT-USBC-PD as seen in this video. The solid yellow LED is letting you know that power is available, while the blinking green is your data link indicator. The GAT-USBC-PD will also include this cable you see on screen. It is a straight-angled USB Type-C to right-angled USB Type-C to easily fit with your iPad install. As soon as we connect the adapter to the iPad, is indicating a charge. Once you navigate to the settings, you will notice that Ethernet is now the available data source for the iPad. It's getting wired gigabit Ethernet from the GAT-USBC-PD while the Wi-Fi remains off. To ensure the iPad recognizes the adapter even when locked, navigate to Face ID and passcode and make sure you have the USB accessories option turned on. The tablet usually comes default with this option, but it never hurts to double check.
let's see. Let's jump back over. And one of the things I'll note for the iPad Pro with this new device is, as excited as we are that we've been able to make a device that's compatible with the iPad Pro, I do need to make sure we come out and tell you about one limitation we found. When trying to get this working with the iPad Pro, we ran into a rock and a hard place. The GAT-USBC-PD will negotiate power and do data all the time from 0 to 100% battery charge. But if the iPad reboots, and it does reboot occasionally
iOS update.
with an iOS update, it will lose the data signal during the reboot. Now, the fix is simply to cycle the power PoE, the PoE power once, and the data comes back up. Most enterprise switches, including our own LCD-controlled PoE switch, actually have a function called a watchdog function. The switch will send an occasional ping to any device connected to that port. If it senses that the PoE device is drawing power but not responding to a ping, then it will cycle power on the port to reboot the device. And this function has worked great for years with IP cameras that occasionally hang out. Now, I'm sure all the smart guys out there, guys and gals,
Yes.
are asking, why didn't we fix this known problem? Well, we did. We made a device that ended up being only compatible with the iPad Pro. But the problem was when we fixed the reboot problem, it created another problem. The iPad couldn't charge if the battery was less than 10%. So if the iPad was dead, it stayed dead. We brought this issue up with our chip manufacturers that we use, and they're working on the problem. We're all focused on it. Don't worry, this is like something we know we're working on, and hopefully before Q2 next year, we'll have this all sorted out. So, any questions we got out there that people want to know?
Not so far. We just have Brian checked in earlier with us from HatchMed, so no questions
Brian.
yet, but thanks for watching.
All right, cool. Well then, let's get on to the Android devices.
And as we're watching, I'm linking all the videos below, so in case y'all want to check out the full video, even though you're seeing most of it.
Upon
here.
connecting
All right, cool. Well then, I'm going to restart this because I want everybody to get Maria's great
Yes.
voice.
the
here.
adapter to the Samsung, you'll notice it recognizes the charge. Once you scroll over to connections in the settings page, you can see that Wi-Fi is completely turned off. To see that the Ethernet is being used as a data source, scroll down to More Connection Settings and then select Ethernet. Now you can see that wired Ethernet is available on your tablet. To make sure it's charging as it should, scroll on down to Device Care in the General Settings menu and then select Battery. As seen on the screen, fast charge connection is enabled from the GAT-USBC-PD. With that, you can now have the peace of mind to browse the web or run your favorite apps, not having to worry about the spotty Wi-Fi connection since you now have Gigabit Ethernet on your Samsung.
All right, Maria, you did a great job with those demos.
Thank you. I hope you'll enjoy.
Thank you very much for putting those together. I will do another warning here with Android type devices. Prior to 2019, the USB-C world was actually quite crazy. There's a little bit of the Wild West going on. Different companies were doing all kinds of strange things with their USB-C port. Some of them were using fast charge instead of USB Type-C power delivery. Some of them were using USB 2, which needed an OTG USB standard rather than USB 3.1. And frankly, it was a little bit of a mayhem. And it makes it so our compatibility is a little less straightforward when it comes to USB Type-C Android devices. Now, we did find that all of Google products, like the Pixel Slates, Chromebooks, they all work great. We have found that the Samsung 2019 series of tablets work great with the converter, but even before 2019, Samsung's products could vary wildly. For example, the Tab S series may work, the Tab A and Tab Active may have had issues, and we've been able to sort out some of those compatibilities. Long story short, if you're looking to use a tablet different from the ones we've talked about specifically on our show today, let us know right here in the comments or shoot us an email at service@poetexas.com. And we'll set it up and we'll test it. Frankly, we can also say, even if it's not compatible right away, as often as not, we can find a way to make something compatible or even recommend something that will work. So, yeah, that's what we've got going on. And I think I really like our GAT-USBC line because it does really open the door for intelligent offices. It opens the door for a lot of very cool applications that we want to know about. So let me ask you guys out there, what are you using the GAT-USBC-PD for?
And I know that we mentioned in the videos that y'all saw, but ours does include the cable as well. So they do get the right angle cable too.
Oh, you get the right angle cable. That's cool. And that's an important feature. I'll point this out. The quality of USB-C cables varies widely out there right now. The market still hasn't settled on making sure, kind of filtering out the lower quality ones. And we've seen compatibility issues with iPad, with USB-C cables, even issued by some of the better names.
That's true.
The other day we got a report that a 2-meter long Apple cable didn't perform very well. So these are all just kinds of things to keep in mind. So we included a cable, but if you want to use your own cable or you need specifics on the cables, let us know. We're happy to test out the compatibility with one of your cables. And if you need something specific, we're here. We're very proud and excited to demo this product and find out what you're using it for. In a lot of ways, we're kind of putting it out there to the world and saying, what would you use this for?
Yeah, it was asked for. It was demanded. So
we're
excited that we finally were able to bring it to you guys.
Yes. So, Maria, what do we got for questions? It seems like it's kind of quiet today.
It is. Maybe people are already taking off for Thanksgiving. I'm not sure.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty quiet. We're kind of, I guess, winding down
on
the show today. But I'll just remind everyone that right now we do have a 10% discount.
Oh, wait, let me bring that up. I will bring that up for you. Let's see if I got the right one. There you go.
For those who are watching live with us or are going to go back and watch it later, the USB-C-PD is available on Amazon Direct as well as Newegg Business. Make sure it's Newegg Business, not just Newegg. But this discount code that you see on screen is good for Amazon and PoE Texas Direct. And I'll link all of the Amazon and PoeTexas.com free below. I can't think of the word I wanted to use.
Yeah, and it gives you a 10% discount.
It does.
So this is a great way to get something going.
Yes, definitely. Test it. Let us know your feedback. You have no excuse to get yourself an early Christmas gift.
Yes.
And then email us or call us, just like Tyler said, service@poetexas.com. We'll probably even get myself to answer you back. So we always want to know what y'all think of these new products. It's because it's new to the market. We're super excited about it. So we want to see if you're also excited about it. And then to wrap things up, since there's no questions coming in here, make sure to stay up to date with us on Power over Ethernet news in general, as well as PoE Texas announcements by liking us on Facebook with that big thumbs up, subscribing to our YouTube channel, you'll see more of my face, or follow us on Instagram. We have LinkedIn and Twitter too, so we're just everywhere. We're taking over. We post interesting PoE topics and post regularly, and frankly, we don't want you to get left behind, so make sure to go back and keep up with us on those channels as well.
Excellent.
And then Tyler mentions too that you might be surprised to find out how much credibility you guys can gain as the viewers by sharing the show with others, your colleagues, your friends, whoever you think would be interested. So get share happy and send it to anyone that you think would find it interesting.
Yes, and you know, if you enjoyed this show, join us live next week when we're live streaming on Amazon, and I'll make sure I send out where to go. And I'm going to be talking about a couple of new technologies available on PoE for solar-powered products. It's been a little while since we covered solar. We covered solar back at the beginning of 2019.
Our first show, or one of
our first shows we had Rob Rallo on. He was great. Go back and watch the show. We're going to be talking about PoE for solar applications. So we will convene with that, and we will see you at the next show. But thanks so much for coming. We love our audience.
Yes, we do.
This is really just the outro time. You know what we need to do? We seriously need to do like a Marvel, one of those Marvel style teaser segments at the very end. We'll like pop back up and we'll be like, aha!
Oh,
you thought it was over.
For the next one.
Yeah, but no, we didn't do that today. Sorry guys, if you're waiting for that Marvel outro, not yet. We'll get that.
Oh, we got a hello from Tech in the City. Mahalo for another informative show.
Oh, great. Yeah. I love our friends out of Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks for coming, everybody.